Welcome everyone. The last day of the year. Yes, 29 degrees Sagittarius has just been crossed a couple hours ago. Here you see it. So we're in the final degree before winter solstice. And winter solstice is the official beginning of the new round. The rebirth of the sun, literally. When the sun has reached its lowest point in the year, really has dived down deep under the earth, and then slowly edging higher again. This is a huge moment. This is when the days get longer again, when the sun is at 0 degrees Capricorn, which, as you see, happens tomorrow 3:27:20 a.m. in Greenwich, actually the 22nd to be exact. Here in North America it is in the evening of the 21st of December. Now this is a super auspicious chart, and I'm showing you why. Most of all, it's the Taurus moon in the first degree of Taurus, making an exact trine, 120-degree angle to Sun and Mercury. This in itself is harmonic, and the moon in the first degree of Taurus, this is life force pure. I like to read you what Dane Rudyard says here in the astrological mandala based on the Sabian symbols. The image which was given to Betty Wheeler, that psychic who was receiving these images in a random pledge to find an image for each degree of the zodiac, an interesting, very interesting approach to start with. It's a clear mountain stream. How beautiful. The pure, uncontaminated and spontaneous manifestation of one's own nature. It is bringing in something totally fresh, original, very much wanting to prosper and grow. The moon in Taurus is the Lord of Success according to the Tarot. It's the 6 pentacles in the minor arcana of the Tarot. The moon is in honor in Taurus. It is all about expansion, success, and growing roots into the ground, and naturally Jupiter being close by here. I mean, how much better can it get? Jupiter is in a trine with Mercury and the Sun. It will get exact with the Sun over the next few days. But the Sun is definitely in that frequency of 120 degrees, and as they are both now in the Earth sign, as soon as the Sun enters Capricorn, this is super auspicious, expansive and prosperous. Now Saturn is in the middle here. Okay, so Saturn brings us down to earth and grounds us and says, well, before we get there, there is some homework to do. There is some reality check, catching up with reality. That is definitely very important, and it's in full momentum happening. Also, if we look at what else is around the last and first degrees of signs, we have Setna naturally here. Setna in square to Saturn and in trine to Pluto. So there's a whole lot going on in terms of midpoints. For example, if we look at the Sun Moon midpoint, there is Saturn, and then there's this other pair in that midpoint, which is Pluto and Manve. Now Manve is a very interesting little planet named after one of the characters in the Lord of the Rings, and it is about realizing that if we change our actions in a more positive way, we can pretty much turn karma around. It is a beautiful force which comes from within. I want to share this with you here. This is from the Trans-Neptunian Astrology blogspot by Amable. Thank you. This is a very great source in general. I often go there. Manve is related with a spontaneous change toward correct actions and attitudes from a karmic point of view without any external intervention. Is something which arises from inside out. Manve is in the first degree of Aries, so this has been just really coming into this reality, this attitude that yes, we can rewrite our karma, we can rewrite the trajectory by just changing our attitude and our actions. There's some magic which is definitely possible. Latent karma, as Amable writes here, is so much diluted or even disappears completely, like in the movies. Now she gives here examples. Those of you who know these movies, please, or not know them, you can watch them, or otherwise please watch them, and then you get a deeper idea, understanding of what that principle means. But super exciting. Manve, a new addition here in my cast, so to say, of actors, of stage actors, of characters in this soap opera. I often compare astrology. Yes, this is a big soap opera. There's so many characters, and at times different characters play more important roles, step to the foreground and give their energy in a very particular way, added in. Here at winter solstice, definitely, as Manve is at the T-square point of Sun, Mercury and Earth, and Vesta here together with Okirowi. Okirowi is the one which is always working as a amplifier and making things bigger and stronger and more intense in a way. So Okirowi in general is approaching Manve, also entering Aries. So yes, I mean, we are now in the most intense phase. I guess this is obvious in many ways. That Moon Pluto square says it all. This is the confrontation. This is where the natural, I would say, the inborn, the organic is clashing with the with this interdimensional force who is trying everything to hold on to the power. It is that Pluto in Capricorn energy which is really on its way out. That last kind of try to hold control over everything. This is definitely big, and with the entrance and the entry of Pluto then into Aquarius, this won't really subside. It just will change its color, its expression. However, Pluto in Aquarius also is the awakening of a strong group potency, of working together, of creating some strong bonds, really horizontal through society. That is what is going to happen ever more so in these next few years, kind of a counter movement. And then naturally we have the Setna trine, which is actually a great saving energy, in a sense, a saving grace, you could say. Sedna opening all the libraries of past karmic involvement of all the dark frequencies which have been pushed into the dark, and they are now surfacing as Sedna is entering Gemini for the second time, soon already in heliocentric astrology. It is already in Gemini, so it is again at this cusp here. And then well, I could keep going on. This is the key structure in this solstice chart, beginning laying the foundation for the new year. I want to give you really look at this rising degree here in Scorpio. Lots of Scorpio as we go. This is the theme of what is coming. I'm just quickly running you through before I even go deeper. I just quickly want to show you the different key alignments in these coming 10 days, which all have the Scorpio rising, and in that sense interlocking different important alignments, interlocking, creating what you could call a superstructure. So on the 27th of December, Chiron will turn direct, so immediately Chiron comes into the spotlight as a leading factor in this coming year. And yes, I mean, it's just shortly after full moon. You see that will be with Astrea here, the moon linked up. Astrea, the one who's really known as the problem solver, the one who is also not shying back from getting involved and its hands dirty. It is a great energy, that Astrea, helping us to come to terms with all the enormous challenges which are piling up in front of us. Then this was when Chiron first touched that degree, also Scorpio rising, Leo midheaven. And then when Jupiter turns direct on the last day of the year, also Scorpio rising and Leo midheaven. And watch here this, the moon at the time when Jupiter turns direct, 25. And if you go to the next chart, which has just a day after when Mercury turns direct, that degree is exactly over the 0 meridian of Earth, 000 west. That is the main meridian which diverts planet Earth into an eastern and a western hemisphere. So this is always a super important moment. And again, you have the Scorpio rising. I mean, how much more confirmation do you want that Scorpio is really the sign of our times to go first? And then this is, see, the 10:48 rising here when Mercury turns direct. Now I'm just jumping here a little bit into my next subject, one of my upcoming very soon to be recorded videos on New York. Why New York? New York is the financial center of the Western world. Just that much I want to say right now. And with the black moon on the second house cusp, yes, most likely we will see a financial meltdown starting in the second half of January. I will definitely give you more proof, more clear signs of why I see that coming. This is one of them. And then if we go a little further into the future, this is the same moment for Earth at perihelion. That is when Earth is closest to the sun. Very important moment, happens early January and early July. The Earth is farthest away, and it is a super important moment in that sense that as it only involves Earth and the Sun, every other astrological alignment is always a triangulation of three different objects. For example, we are standing on Earth and we are watching how planets align, so it's all in relation to the Earth. However, if we look at that moment when a planet or body is farthest or closest to the Sun, that is a binary, in that sense, just involves these two bodies, and as the Sun is the permanent life force, this is truly the defining factor of how energy will manifest over the next year on planet Earth. A super important moment. So this is for New York, as I say, this with that void of course moon in the very last minutes of Virgo in the same sign as the black moon. This is definitely a wild card energy. This is a critical degree, an heretic degree it's also called, the very final minutes of a sign when there's lots of chaotic motion before things resettle after entering the new sign. Void of course moon is probably one of the strongest arguments for the Western zodiac, the tropical zodiac, which is anchored, as you know, by the solstice and equinox points, which are really where the anchors are planted, where the main, so to say, suspension points are into the universe at large. Now, before we go here, let's go back a little bit. Let's just go back a little bit. Actually, I want to take you even a little farther back to the 19th, when the Sun aligned with the galactic center. Super important moment too. This is the heliocentric chart. The Earth here in this heliocentric chart, as you see, when you stand on the Sun, or would stand on the Sun, even if this is physically not possible, just imagine, then Earth appears at 2710 in Gemini, or vice versa. If we stand on Earth, we look that way, and then the Sun appears at 2710 in Sagittarius, and that is where the galactic center is right now. And I have calculated naturally down to the second of arc. This is super important. I have this beautiful program here, Rial for Windows, which sadly enough is no more available online. Was a free program, and here you can calculate the exact position of the galactic center. You see, for example, if we go back here to this moment, that is December the 19th 2023, that was 27 degrees Sag, 10 minutes and 44 seconds of arc, and that is the moment when the Sun, or respectively Earth, was at that degree. Now, why I'm showing you this chart is mostly because of this Jupiter and this Folus Quaoar conjunction here at the ascendant. So Jupiter at the 4th house cusp. Yes, again, this is super positive. This is a fuel, growth, expansion in the natural way. It is really, Jupiter in Taurus, to start with, I want to say, is one of the best placements of Jupiter too. So regardless of what's coming in terms of financial meltdown and whatnot, I guess this will be a necessary stage to go through in order to to really grow in a whole new direction. Now, naturally, if we are prepared, if we know what's coming, and that's what I hope that many people will realize, the enormous I would say threat on one level, but also opportunity on the other. It again really depends how you handle it. I would definitely suggest make sure you have cash, make sure you are not involved in stock markets or so. I'm not even sure with the precious metals, they might suffer a breakdown too at first, so cash is certainly the best thing to hold right now, even though this might sound silly on some level, but it is always that way. Go back to 2020 in March when all the markets melted down, so did the metals. It's kind of liquidity is the king when these things happen. So that's just my 2 cents, and I will definitely solidify this insight too. Jupiter so strongly placed not only is growth and prosperity, it also is intensity and dynamics. And I mean, Jupiter revolves around itself once in 10 hours. It's a huge planet. There's an enormous rotational momentum or radial momentum. It's actually the planet which holds 61% of the whole solar system's radial momentum, and radial momentum is all about change, constant readaptation. The vector which is giving you the direction of motion is constantly changing, constantly adapting to a new situation. That's kind of Jupiter too. So we have to see all its angles. Now, this chart is super important in the sense this is the higher dimensional direction we are moving into. The galactic center is the central sun, also named often as the center of our galaxy, where all the stars we see in the night sky are revolving around. Yes, that's what it is. If we only are relying on bare eyesight, the only other in that sense group of stars you can see is the faint Andromeda galaxy, if you know where to look, but it is just a faint nebula really by bare eye. And to give you kind of a perspective, the galactic center is 26,000 light years away. We are in the outer ranges of one of the spiral arms. 26,000 years it takes for the light from Sagittarius A or the galactic center to reach Earth. And in comparison, the Andromeda galaxy is something like 2 million light years away. That is a factor of 100 or so farther away. You see that this is really a little blob in space, our galaxy, and this is the center of our universe, literally. So naturally, this is the spiritual center of this whole sector of the universe, if you want. That's where we're revolving around. So this moment every year is super important. It's a recharge of the battery of in which direction we go. And then there's Varda, another character of the Lord of the Rings, which we spoke about last time, which is all about, it's a feminine force, a goddess of light, bringing more light into this world. I guess that's really what we need. Varda will be exactly connected to Galactic Center on the last day of the year. And as seen from Earth, move forward and backward a few times over this point in the next year or so. So Pholus and Quaoar, let's have a little word about these two. And they are one of these superstructures which are drawing out their manifestation over many, many years. Actually, they had their first exact conjunction as seen from Earth in 2022, that was now, yes, in March, pretty much, or February, on that day when the conflict in Ukraine started, interestingly enough, on the 22nd of February, I guess it was, something like that. And they have conjunctions, they move in sync till the year 2061 or 63. So this is a long-term manifestation of these two forces. Pholus is that ability to really jump into something new, to leave the old behind. It's that final moment when you decide, yes, now is the moment to do it. When you stop smoking, when you come clean from drugs, when you all of a sudden decide, yeah, no, I go in a new direction altogether. Quaoar is a Kuiper belt object, non-resonant with the inner planets, in that sense having its whole own perspective of things. Quaoar is about recreation, actually singing a new reality into creation. So there's something about frequency there, but also Quaoar always needs first to break kind of through a ceiling. There's an initial shock, an initial difficulty to pass through. I also was kind of thinking today of the trumpets they use to walk around Jericho and bring the walls to collapse, kind of that kind of energy. This is as well. So it's a radical force together with Pholus. So let's keep going here a little bit more into what's coming up in the next few days as we go into this sacred period, these first 10 days of the year, literally between winter solstice and January the 1st. The whole celebration of that time, the festival of lights, and this goes back through millennia in all different cultures. You can see that Christmas is just one of the expressions of it, and it's a beautiful tradition to celebrate the inner light, to bring out decorations and really have a great feast at that time of the year. It is like a new baby is born, and it takes about 9 to 10 days till you open the doors and let the uncles and aunts in and all the friends to welcome the new arrival. That's then what is about January the 1st, the real official reception of something new. So these are very intimate and private 10 days, these first 10 days between 22nd and the 1st of January. And then in this phase, yes, Chiron turns direct, a major point of change. And again, you see the almost identical axis as we had at winter solstice. And again, as I said, short after full moon here on the 27th. Super powerful moment. And then this is when Chiron first touched that degree last March 15 degrees and 27 minutes. And again, that same configuration, 25 Leo, 10 degrees Scorpio. So you see it's all kind of bonding into one big structure. Again, the 25th, 26th degree of Leo, I guess, which I want to give you once more the Sabian symbols of, after the heavy storm, rainbow. That's the 26th degree of Leo. How beautiful. Looking above and below, the covenant with one's divine nature, promise of immortality, revelation of worth comes to us after we have successfully met a crisis. So yes, the first 4 months I see will be a difficult period, and I want to say a little bit about the black moon. The black moon is a critical factor in what's going on right now, and in Virgo it is very, very well placed. It's actually the many psychotherapists or psychologists have the black moon in Virgo or in the 6th house. It's about of recognizing what's wrong, and repair and restoration is therefore possible, giving the right advice, understanding the problem, the issue. So this is on since October the 3rd into the end of June pretty much. That's this 9-month period we are in. And if we look at the hexagrams, if we subdivide Virgo into the hexagrams, again you can go and see that subdivision on my old website, thecosmoswithin.org. The link is in the description underneath as always. Then the first 5-6 degrees, hexagram 59, this dissolution, where everything really was breaking open, you could say October 4th till November 24th around. Since then we are in hexagram 40, deliverance, which is really a breakthrough time. Absolutely, I mean, one can sense it, one can feel it. There's so many new things breaking open and getting into the clear and the open. It's thunder within the lake, it is rattling everything. And then from January 13th on till March 4th, this will be the kind of the core phase with hexagram 64, which is after the after completion. Exactly, that's the name, after completion, which is a really interesting hexagram. It is original chaos in a way. So that's when you can expect everything to kind of in a way fall apart to start with, to disintegrate. It is literally like the which are compared with before the defragmentation process on your hard drive, when everything gets first taken out of the place it was to be reassembled in a whole new way. And then with around March 4th, this is then the phase where really the big transformation happens, when we also feel the exhaustion which that process has caused. And then April 23rd, hexagram 6, confrontation, conflict management. So yes, these first few months of the new year will be obviously difficult. The energy changes as soon as we come to the eclipse on April the 4th. However, the bonding process among the people will be intensifying Moon and Juno here joining up with one another in a trine aspect to Uranus. It is about dreaming a new reality into manifestation. Literally, it starts with the ideas, with the great new ideas, and there's many of those. So be courageous, go ahead, forward, do the right thing. And the right thing is very simple. Follow your heart, follow that natural sense of supporting whoever is close to you, share, give. And the more you do that, the more you open your heart, get into that frequency, which allows whole new miracles to come down. And as I said when we spoke of Manwe, this is how we rewrite karma, how we actually dissolve karma, by doing what we are here for. And we definitely came here for intentionally, even we might have forgotten about that, but just trust the process and know that you were born for these times, and this is the intense bottleneck we are pushed through now, which coincides with the solar maximum. I mean, it couldn't be much better orchestrated. So this is Mercury turning direct, as I mentioned before already. This is a big turning point, and then just this comes a day after Jupiter turns direct, January 1st and 2nd, and then the 3rd or the 2nd when Earth is at perihelion. And this is the Greenwich chart for the 0 meridian for Earth at perihelion. Just bring this up to show you a little bit more into the future. Now we have the 16th degrees of Libra and Aries with Chiron. You remember what I said, Chiron? Chiron turned direct on the 27th of December, and here it shows up at the 7th house cusp. Yes, Chiron at first again is pushing our nose onto the problems. Can be quite harsh in a way. It's kind of that kick in the bum which people sometimes need in order to finally do the right thing, which they know deep down what it is. I mean, it's never really that difficult. It's just a matter of necessity. And if we look for a moment also at the heliocentric expression of that perihelion, when Earth is closest to the Sun, again the heliocentric always is the underlying frequency, the underlying coding, the energy carries, which we are breathing, which we are living on. This is the Sun's energy at that time. What stands out here is the Mercury-Saturn opposition, and then also the let me just see what else I wanted to tell you about this chart. There's always so many things. Anyway, you see this, let's just keep going here, the 15th, 16th degree of Aries and Libra, again with Chiron here, right at the zenith of the chart. This is when Mercury is at it's exactly conjunct the Sun. We are actually going back here in time a little bit. The order is not absolutely correct here in my time flow, so to say, but again Chiron is a ongoing theme here. And then this is the eclipse of April 8th. Just a little heads up, look ahead. Again, the 16th degree of Libra and of Aries and Libra. And you see the eclipse will be at 1921, 1923, Moon and Sun, and Chiron, 1924. I guess you get the picture here. Chiron is really the one which is turning the cake upside down, bringing us back to recognition of what's truly going on, and so many people still need to get to that point. Yes, it's a process. Yes, there's lots of denial, and all of that. It's that kind of these several stages one goes through when one deals with something really difficult. First there is denial, then there is shock, then there is the pain, then there is whatever the sensation of defeat, of not being able to do anything about it, and then finally we wake up to the rage and start getting into our afterburner, so to say, really the second wind kicking in, which is all about survival, and then from there on things go in the right direction. So this is a process. Many people are still in the first stages of that, coming to terms with reality they never were expecting to be such. That interdimensional force which we really have to kick out of this frequency band. And two more charts with that same degree axis when chaos turns stationary direct in March. Now even more so, we have also the nodes exactly in this axis, and the lunar node conjunct the ascendant. This is one of the strongest alignments there can be in a chart. This is truly coming back to what is important to manifest and to take the lead, to go first. Chaos, the one naturally which is in charge of bringing back natural order. The original meaning of chaos, yes, that's what it is. The original order. Chaos being a Kuiper belt object 2, having an orbital period of something like 308 years or so. And the last chart I want to show you in this context is the Radamantis Varuna square, one of many. Again, this is one of these structures which carry on for many years to come still, but this is an exceptional one, as it's also tying into this same axis. And let's find the two. Radamantis is in Libra, or see, I'm sometimes lost myself. Where is it? In Gemini, and there's too many of these little things. Let me find it. Come on. Radamantis in Scorpio, right? In Scorpio, actually. 739 Scorpio, 739 Leo. Here they are, the two, yes. Now they have a similar theme. Varuna is the gold standard of integrity and of justice, and Radamantis is a very small planet and was named after that Greek king who was put in charge by Zeus to judge the dead. So it's all about justice too, about separating the good from the bad and such. And this is definitely a process which will go on still for many years to come, to sort out, to really bring that all which has gone wrong. It will take a while for getting everything to get corrected and put into its proper position. Interesting that this 9th of 71 oppositions, so you see this is a 30+ year process we're in, which started somewhere around 2020. This time around with the node and Chiron here conjunct at the ascendant, yes, this is a really momentous period in the manifestation of these two forces, particularly as the Moon and Jupiter both are here involved in that Radamantis and Varuna square. So from February onward, you can definitely bet it will get super intense, and yeah, there's no joking anymore happening at that time. So yes, I'm super excited about what's coming, regardless of the difficulties we're heading into. We need to get through this bottleneck. It is super important to have a vision beyond that and to dream a new reality into form. And one of the important things here is never look back, always look ahead. Don't get caught in reminiscence and whatever nostalgia. Yes, we have to leave many things behind. It is a time of shedding, of letting go. Thank you so much for being here on this channel, and thank you for your support. If you like to chip something in, there's links under the recording in the description, and I'm very grateful to everyone here who is supporting me. Naturally, the more I get that support, the more I can invest my time into doing these videos and telling you what I see in the stars. Thank you, and see you soon again. Bye bye. Love you all.